Welcome everyone to the Maddox Minute. My name is Ryan,
I'm
and
Justin.
we're here to talk about anything and everything. A lot of things will hit home, and a lot of stuff will not even make sense to us. But here we are.
We're going to have some controversial topics, and today we're actually going to dive into one that hits home pretty well with a lot of people, including Ryan. We're going to talk about mental health, especially that of veterans.
Yeah.
So,
Whenever let's see, let's go all the way back to whenever I was a kid. Uh, my mom used to have panic attacks and anxiety all the time. And it got to a point to where I got fed up with it, man. I was like, man, why don't just chill out? Like, why do you just keep sitting there pondering and thinking about the same thing that you know is gonna put you in this mood? And now you're laid up on the couch, just bitter and you know, I got tired of seeing it. I'm like, grow the hell up, chill out. You got kids, take care of them, and man, if if I could go back, I that's a cliche statement right there, but
it's
little
true.
did little did I know, it's nothing you can control. There's so many times I'll have a panic attack and the depression and everything kicks in, and the more man the more I sit there and try to talk myself out of it, the more I try to think about something else, or it's gonna be okay, and the worse it gets. And I don't know, you would think, okay, you have control, over, what you do in life and how things are. Uh, are you going to be that bitter person in life? Are you going to be the happy person? But that's not always the case. Like you really cannot sit there and decide that, you're going to think about rainbows and sunshine all day long. Um, I'm 100% disabled veteran, and I've had two back surgeries. I have knee problems, and I mean, it's it's crazy, man. Even pain itself will drive you to a point to where you think you're going crazy, and you just want it to stop. And then before you know it, all these thoughts are creeping into your head, and you know um whether it be something that's not so bad to being extreme, like suicidal, like like, I'm tired of hurting, I could just do this. And you know then the VA, they say they're there to help you, and in a sense, that's believable. But I think, like the old, you see it in movies. There's a husband that beats his wife and is just a horrible person, but in public, everything's perfect. They're the cookie cutter family, everything looks great. Um, that's pretty much how a veteran's relationship is with the VA. And I'm not gonna say the VA is a horrible program. I mean it's a new program. I, I'm
Like with any business, there's gonna have their faults, they're gonna have the pros and cons.
yeah,
There's
but
some services that help you out a lot, and there's some that
it's
need improvement.
it's crazy. I'm actually older than the VA. I think I was born in '84. I think the
Ryan, older than
VA
time itself.
was that? Oh
You're
yeah.
older than time itself.
um, I think the VA actually came into existence around '89. I think early '89.
Yeah, it was just around that 89, 90s era when it came into effect because of all the wars and everything, and
Yeah.
increasing
So
number of veteran health problems and mental health problems. And
people started acknowledging that as it's actually a sickness. Um, but it's the VA is a great program, but they have people that, for instance, cops. Okay, we need cops. Because if not, people are going to be running, looting. I mean, you see what happens whenever something extreme happens, like okay, 9/11. Reason I joined is because 9/11 happened. We're not going to go into that too much,
I was
but
sitting in fourth grade when that thing happened.
thank you. Uh, but yeah, everybody took that time to go and loot and get. Everybody was out for themselves,
Mhm.
and you know there's good people and there's bad people. So just because like with police, you have those that abuse their power and everybody's like, let's defund the police, let's do this, let's do that. Everybody's got to record any kind of confrontation that a lot of times they're picking. They'll walk up to the officer, phone in hand, ready
Yeah,
to try to catch something. And so a lot of guys just trying to make a living, wanting to do just like me joining at 9/11, wanting to have a purpose, wanting to do something good to protect people. And then you have those out there that are just, power trip. I mean, just
the cancel culture.
yeah, it's the few hurt the many.
Yeah,
And that's pretty much how it is with the VA. You have those that go there for just a paycheck. And then again, the VA, for instance, a doctor, if they were to have their own private practice, they would make more than what they do at the VA. But the VA has amazing benefits, kind of makes up for it, but at the same time, it's less demanding. Um, they have a lot of nurse practitioners there instead of doctors. So instead of doing 100% of your work, every day could be a lax day, and just get a veteran in and out. And I mean, there's been times I've had an appointment, been brought back in the room, and they've actually forgot about me. I'd be sitting in the room for literally, no lie. One time I was sitting there 6 hours and
you take a nap.
finally walked out. And I'm like, um, is anybody gonna help me? Like
No,
it was my primary care doctor. And yeah, they came up with all kinds of excuses on how they forgot about me and all, but I just how do you forget someone in a room? You know, so but way off subject. The VA, they have that big deal to where uh they focus on veteran suicide. They focus on that more than than anything else. I would say. I mean, there's that whole 22 a day, you know, military members, give up, and they they want us to put all this trust into them, but we're just a number. They don't put that trust back into us. And it's like with any kind of relationship, it has to be mutual. Um, for instance, I just had to I'm 100% permanent and total. And I just even though I'm permanent and total, I just had to go let's see what is today, Wednesday, Monday. I
Hmm.
had to go see a mental health specialist that they contract out to. They use third party companies, and they're thinking maybe he got better mentally, and
Yeah.
that's not the case. I mean, there's ways that okay people can cope uh, with what's going on better, but the problem never goes away. It's always there. Um, but they sent me to go get reevaluated. You know, making the whole concept of permanent and total PNT. Um, like I don't even know why they call it permanent and total if they're gonna reevaluate you and try to, say you're better. But unfortunately, this doctor that I saw, uh, yeah, they they don't think I've gotten better in any form or fashion. And realistically, I mean, all of this is embarrassing. I mean, this is our first episode. Don't even know how many people we're gonna reach, but I mean, my God, even 5 people knowing about my mental state of mind, the battle that I go, it it is embarrassing, and it's you have that me being born early 80s and we were still running down dirt roads barefoot and
Yep. Even me and my
picking
degree, it's the same thing.
yeah picking our own switches doing things I mean uh back then you know it was a man don't have feelings you got to take care of your family, you got to do this there's there's a lot of us that have that mentality to where yeah, I might have all of this going on inside of my head, but I got to take care of my family.
Hmm.
There's no time to take care of me. And then whenever you try to open up to someone at the VA and you tell them, these are the thoughts that I have daily. Um, I can't stop them. I want to be better, but I don't even know where to begin. And you start opening it up to them, and next thing you know, you got a knock on your door, and it's a police officer or whatever. And then it's it's it turns into a lot more than that, because yeah, it's embarrassing, but then now all your neighbors know. And you
Yeah,
know
it's around fast,
yeah,
and you're in a smaller town, so it
yeah, I'm in a
goes
very small town.
a lot quicker.
So
And then, from there, it's all a game of telephone. So what started out is, it was they didn't hear correctly or whatever like this. Oh, well, this happened and then it happened. Well, I heard that all this happened. And that can kind of like ruin a vet's
oh,
life.
one of my neighbors had already said that they saw the police carrying guns out of my house, this and that. And yes, I have miniguns. But I mean, I have many knives. I have many pills that they prescribe me. And I understand a lot of people use the gun route. It's easy, fast, but I mean, it's something that doesn't always work. And it's just like, you had told me about the story about the guy jumping 3 stories, and he ended up living, and now he's got life in
Yeah,
prison.
up in Florida. And there's been a few cases of that.
So
Instead of getting people the help that they need, well, you violated the law. So we're going to sentence you to life in prison after you tried ending your own.
yeah,
Like, there needs to be a lot more accountability for mental health issues.
yeah, and we talked about this too, like in relationships.
Mhm.
For family friendly aspects, let's just say fellatio or
Yeah.
anything like that. That's illegal. I mean, that is an arrestable offense.
Yep.
Um, realistically, I think it's maybe Tennessee. They still have like weird laws that are in effect, but you can't hunt a well from the back of your pickup truck.
Whale
I,
hunting's
I,
illegal in Nebraska.
but
Nebraska's landlocked.
where where are you going to find a well?
Exactly.
I mean, you're
Oklahoma.
nowhere near water. So I mean, I think
Well,
it's Louisiana. For my wife to drive, I'm legally supposed to be so far ahead of her with a sign and a flag stating that she's driving. Yeah, I, it's
okay, here. If you want another stupid law, Oklahoma, it is technically a misdemeanor offense with possible jail time to take a bite out of someone else's hamburger.
that's just fighting stuff right there.
But if your wife were to take a bite of your hamburger, she can be thrown in jail. I think it's New York. You can't tie your elephant to a parking meter.
I don't even know how to
Mm.
take that.
There's another state. I think it's Kentucky. I might be wrong, but it's illegal for you to walk down a city street. I think it might be like specific day too, like on a Sunday, with an ice cream cone in your back pocket.
Okay.
Think about that. Yeah, and of course we have Wheat then, who's gonna do his little sponsorship now.
Yeah. The fact that unfortunately I do have uh several suicidal thoughts on a daily basis. If I was to ever give in wheat thins would probably they would know. Their stocks would plummet. I go through at least two or so boxes a day.
Yeah, last 2 weeks, just what you've shown us in this Discord server was 8 boxes in 2 weeks. And that's just that we've had physical proof of.
Yeah, but it's like a box. It's a few boxes a day.
I mean, you could be popping your pills. You could be out gambling. You could be out drinking. You could be doing this. But that's your thing.
That's my happiness.
That is your happiness.
I mean, my wife and kids are my happiness too, but I mean that's my vice.
Yeah, like we tried recording the stuff yesterday. Video recordings messed up and everything. But he found this wheat thin. He always gets the tomato basil wheat thins, and this thing was covered in dust.
Yes.
And his you can even see his face right now. He is remembering that thing and he is so excited.
Yeah.
If you gave him a beer or whiskey and a juicy steak in front of him, he would want that wheat thin just one more time.
Oh yeah. Um. And see, actually, I told you yesterday. I'm looking because there's always a number that you can call, and I told you about whenever we was going to see this right here, perfect advertisement. Yep, open for 100% awesome. Anyways, my wife bought the Cool Ranch Doritos, and just like that wheat thing you was talking about,
Oh, it's covered in all that glorious flavoring dust.
covered. So just like the little popcorn seasoning that you could put on your popcorn, uh, I was wanting to call and give them that suggestion. Hey, why don't you just sell this? I mean, people would buy it, put it on the shelves. Extra seasoning to put it in your bags of chips. Um,
Wheat thin popcorn.
Dude, I don't even like popcorn because it gets stuck in your teeth so much. And I hate having something stuck in my teeth. Um, it drives me crazy. But if I was able to put the tomato basil wheat thin flavor on popcorn, oh yeah, yeah, definitely. But I don't even like chips at all. Um, like hard, crunchy stuff. It's not my biggest. I'm not the biggest fan. But with them,
You're there for it
they,
all day, every day.
man, they taste so good. You get the flavor, and then it's like a bit of sweetness towards the end. It's man, we're way off subject.
Yeah, this podcast has turned from VA mental health and everything to you
But
really trying to get that sponsorship. In lieu of
oh
payment, just send
man,
me more wheat thins
yes. I am 90% wheat thin. You know,
and 10% messed up.
yeah. Um, but back on to the whole VA deal. Um, I went. This was back whenever I was around New Orleans. Um, having a hard time sleeping. Go to talk to my doctor about not being able to sleep and just having a hard time. And he was like, "Well, do you have any guns?" And I'm like, "What does that have to do with me sleeping?" I was like,
Yeah,
"But you know what?"
that's
I was
fine
like,
for them though.
I was like, "Yes, I do have guns." I was like, but I have no intention on hurting myself. I was like, unfortunately, I do have these thoughts. I was like, but never once have I thought, let me go grab one of my guns. Like the
That's
way
permanent sleep.
the I mean, worst case scenario, you would think the worst case scenario, you die. But no, worst case scenario is you live through this, and now my wife and kids have to deal with this, you know, me messed up, missing a lot of my face, and yeah, I'm putting that on them,
Mhm.
even if I did die, I'm putting that on them, you know. And here's what's keeping me fighting. I grew up without a father. I know what it's
Same
like.
here. Yep.
And I don't want to be the reason that my kids don't have me in their life. And at that point, they can't even come and visit. I mean, well, I mean they can, but I mean it's not a visitation,
Mhm.
it's well different, well past that point. But not only am I taking myself out of their lives, I'm giving them the option to know that it's an option. If life gets too hard, you know,
Mhm.
my dad did it, I could do it. And I having just that thought, I, th- that's not even anything that I want to think of, to even think that they're in that type of position to where that's an option for them. Um, Being a parent is
It's hard.
and to think anything could ever happen to one of your kids. it,
It's a lot on your plate. I mean, you pair that, and that's why, you're trying to figure some of the stuff out with your mental health. Going to the VA, hoping they can fucking find you something that helps out. Like,
it's, that's one thing I don't understand. Like my kids, you know, um, they're a big part on why I fight to this. But then you have those dads that don't care. That
mine abandoned me 21 years ago,
you
and
know,
I had sworn to never be like him.
I whenever I was younger, I made a lot of bad decisions, bad choices. Wasn't in, the right position for much of anything.
Mhm.
But I mean, I joined the army at 17. Um, but now, you know, having two boys, one of which is my stepson, but everybody asks, about my kids, and Peyton is right there. You know, I have Peyton and Ian. Uh,
Mhm.
you know, there's not one that I favor over the other. There's a big age gap, 13 and 5. So there's things that I can do with Peyton that I can't with Ian, but then there's those things that you can do with, the young kid that you can't do with the older ones anymore. And
So at that point, it's creepy.
that it does. But man, it's also sad that I'm about to lose out on those times, with my youngest.
But see, like that, there's times you miss out on those times when they're younger. That just gives you now that time to give them those newer memories from this, time of life. And then
Yeah.
as they keep on growing up, you're able to do more things to make more memories. You don't have to be stuck in that one sense of I have to do it because they're this young.
Well, see, like my favorite sport uh, throughout school and everything was baseball. And I mean, I played basketball whenever I was younger, but Ian, he wanted to play basketball, and right here, I was the team's coach.
And tell me again what that basketball's name was, the team's
Oh,
name.
our sponsors,
Yes,
Daddy's Dogs.
that's dogs.
Yeah, Monty, the owner of the place, good friend of mine. Um, this is through the PAC, the Perryton Activity Club, our center, and they had sponsors for each team, but Monty, being a new uh, restaurant owner, wanted to give him the opportunity to be a sponsor. So he has a shirt, um, that a lot of it that the team signed, and
Hmm.
then a team picture, and he has it up on the wall. And anytime we go up there, Ian runs up, looks at the picture like he's a celebrity, and he loves it. And I mean, it was amazing to be able to have a friend of mine that is a new business owner, to be able to sponsor our team, and it being a new experience for me as well. This is preschool and kindergarten. You're herding cats at this point.
Hmm.
But man, there was a team. Uh, it's the town right over. Um, these kids were playing like high school kids. You know, um, Kid 5 years old shooting from the 3 point line. I mean, of course, the goal was lowered, but I mean, that's some talent. I mean, I'm sitting there, I'm talking to the coaches for this team, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all putting something in their water. I mean, but no, these kids are just, they're good. And I a lot of it was my part, being the first time I ever coached. And then, them being so young, but it was like they came in like they were, another squad in the army. And I mean, we we had no chance, but I mean, still it was fun. Um, but man, we for a podcast, we both have ADD.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We're gonna need to do a program to where it keeps throwing us back onto the subject. But no, like I was talking about, with with the VA, they they give you, all kinds of stuff. You get, flyers, you get, you know, all this stuff that, just pretty much just, it's kind of like junk mail you just throw, and it just piles up. Um, but I mean, there's a lot of good information in it. And then they give you like the suicide prevention hotlines number, and everything else, which I mean, it's good, but you get scared to even call them because, like I was mentioning earlier, they had a welfare check, and they're making a bigger thing. It's a double-edged sword.
Mhm.
Certain people calling it, they really need the help. I really need the help. I mean, but chances are, if it's gonna happen, unfortunately, the person's not even gonna pick up the phone. But to have someone like myself pick up the phone and I'm sitting there confiding in you, and like the doctor, whenever I couldn't sleep, it's called PEC, and pretty much what it is involuntarily admitted me to the hospital. Um,
Because
when
you're a danger to yourself or others, because you have a weapon in the house.
Yeah, but the thing is okay, I'm supposed to trust you, but you are treating me like I am an insane, unstable, crazy person, which if I
I
was
mean, you're crazy.
unstable, I wouldn't be talking to you. I wouldn't be trying to confide in. I wouldn't be doing anything. What I'm putting my trust into you, coming to you, talking to you, and then you just lock me up. And the guy actually told me that there was nothing, and this is his profession. He told me that there was nothing he could do to help me.
It's kind of his job, though.
Yeah, but how does that make someone feel whenever they're going to try to ask for help and you're being told that you're unhelpable? You're a lost cause.
Yeah, no.
So, VA is a good program, but you have those that are just horrible.
Yeah,
That, like realistically, if I get to that point to where I feel like I can't go any longer, I'm not calling the VA. I'm calling you.
yeah.
I'm calling my wife. I'm calling anybody and everybody but the VA because I am scared of what they're gonna do. Um, I don't even see a mental health provider at the VA anymore. They had this thing called community care. I have no trust in the VA doctors anymore. That I am sent to a private doctor. I mean, the VA pays for it, but I I'm just now getting to know this guy. And there's there's a lot of things that my wife, she don't even know. And the VA, these strangers are trying to make you talk about something that, for one, you don't want to talk about. Two, you've blocked it out so much that you've forgotten, you know, uh, you forgot a lot of what the problem really is. I mean, that's your
Yeah.
brain trying to protect you. That's safety mode. Um, but whenever you try to confide into someone and then they just take it to an extreme and just want to lock you up, why are you going to call these people? You know, they're they're not all like that. We've talked about, a panic attack that I had in Walmart.
Mhm.
Went home, and I hope this blows up. That way there's a chance that Dolores could hear this and just see that I'm still here because of her. Um, for me having a TBI and short-term memory, remembering her name, she was actually a lifesaver. I was at the end of my rope, and we talked for 2 to 3 hours, and she's the reason I'm still here. And I needed that. And not once did she call and try to have me committed or anything else. She called a few days later to check up on me. Went
And see, like,
way out
that's the
of her way.
remarkable thing, though.
But that's how it should be. I mean, yes, some people need someone to come grab the gun out of their hand. They're at that point. But whenever and they ask you, do you have any plans? Do you have anything in motion right now? And whenever you tell them no, if you're putting trust in them, they need to put that trust into you, because if not, just like in my case, I'm not calling them no more. And there's going to be times that I need to to really call someone. But like I
Yeah.
said, I have you, I have my wife, I have other friends, I have, you know, I had to make my own network because they done burned their bridge. I mean, they they've taken that hope away from me that, you know, I have this huge, program um that's there for my best interest. And whenever whenever it gets like that, it seems like they do that for their best interest,
Mhm.
what looks best for them in the public eye. And you're really trying to open up to them, but they're not listening to you. They just hear that you're having a problem, and they don't even know what that problem is at that point anymore, because they're like, okay, this guy's gonna kill himself. Um, not that this guy's trying to really reach out and just needs someone to talk to. So they definitely need more people like Dolores. I mean, that right there, straight angel, my
Mhm.
my saving grace that day. And it was just a panic attack that I couldn't get rid of. Um, Here I am, a grown ass man, hiding in one of those circular little clothing racks that they have in there, and trying to look for my way to get out of Walmart just to get home, because all of a sudden,
It's overwhelming.
yeah, and it's all these emotions, like impending doom, like not that just something bad's gonna happen to you, but like, you start thinking, well, what if something happens to my kids? What if this happens? What if that happens? Like every negative thing just starts overflowing. And I mean, it's so bad that I'm well beyond paranoia. Not like I don't have an underground bunker or anything. Not that bad, but I can't sit with my back to a door Um, I have more cameras at my home than what I should. I mean, I even have a camera in my bedroom, uh, not one focusing at my bed, you know. So it's like it's more paranoia reasoning than it is for, like a 50 shade of gray type reason. Um, but it's it's bad, man. It's something that I wish I could just move on with, you know? Like I go to church, I speak to the youth at times. Um and there was the longest time that I ran from God, and that right there was and has been something that's been kind of my anchor. Everybody, like we've talked about before, people turn to drugs.
Mhm.
I turn to wheat thins.
You're
But
turning
no,
into a wheat then.
no, in all seriousness, people, they honestly, I mean, we've been talking about my mental health. I might as well put this out there too. I mean, there was a time to where I turned to drugs too. I um I didn't want to face reality. And it took me a little bit. It was a lot quicker than what you would have thought, but I started seeing, the people I was hanging out with, started seeing how they were looking. And I mean, I pay attention to so much stuff. And I went and used the restroom and ended up seeing how I looked. And I was like, my God, this is not me. And I realized, I was like, yeah, I'm creating a safety net, like a false reality that I'm not having to deal with what's really going on, but reality is still there. It's not like Doctor Strange and you can make your own, whatever. I mean, realistically, I mean that's what you're doing in that sense, but reality is still reality.
Yeah.
And the more that you ignore it, the more that you try to, blanket what's really going on, it builds up. It's kind of like dirty laundry, you know.
Mhm.
That pile just gets bigger and bigger. And then it becomes so big that I mean it's hard to manage at that point. And then I mean, with you trying to escape reality, look at all the other negatives that it brings. You get caught, then you have jail. Then you have this charge, and you have all this that follows you for the rest of your life. So, any chance of hope that you had, not saying you don't have that anymore, but you've just taken your hope from, being up here to where it's down to here. And people are like, oh, well, and they like to hold on to your past so much that they they won't let you come up.
Mhm.
You're trying to do better for yourself, but no, he was an addict, he was this, he was that. you know, then there's those people that are like, you know, you were military, you know, killing's killing. You're a murderer. You're this and that, and you're just a horrible person. And you were just looking for a legal way to do it. And this, and it's like you don't know anything about me. Like,
The military messes people up pretty hard, if not physically, mentally. And that's if you're lucky enough to come back.
oh, I'm mentally and physically. I mean,
Okay, you were mentally messed up way before him, but
mm, I
not
mean,
in that sense.
yeah,
That just kind of compounded on there.
yeah, it, yeah, it, it escalated quickly. But you know, I joined with good intentions.
Mhm.
And you know, what is it? The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yep.
So I don't know, like for anybody that has made it this far into this I know this is called the Maddox minute, but it's well past a minute. But for anybody that's still here, um, and maybe this is something that we can, you know, make the highlight of this episode. But
And we can elaborate on, more VA stuff and veteran stuff in another episode. Get a
yeah,
couple events in and
but for anybody that's still here, anytime you start getting to a point to where things are too hard,
reach out.
like don't even hesitate with it. Just reach out. There's, you know, yeah, there's 988. Text it, you know,
Call it.
yeah.
Whatever.
But sometimes, you know, like I've stated my issues with it. Don't let my issues be an issue for you. But even though I have my issues with it, I've found other avenues, other people that I can talk to.
Hmm.
Be sure to have that safety net, some kind of, uh, you know, doomsday plan, if you want to call it that. You know, because I mean, realistically, once you get at that point, everything that could go wrong is going wrong, and it's in your mind. But your mind's a powerful thing, and if
Yeah.
you believe it, it's manifested into a real battle. So
Again, 988. Call it, text it, call a friend, call a family member,
I mean,
anyone.
if you need to, drop a comment, you know, have us reach out. We'll you know, we're gonna have our email linked. We're gonna be on several different platforms, YouTube being one of them. We're gonna have our uh our email attached to that. So if
We have a
you don't,
Twitter.
yeah, we have Twitter. Um, if you do not want to reach out through a comment, send us an email. Uh,
Your Everything will stay anonymous. There's gonna be no we'll reach back out to you. Me and him both have access to it, so we'll reach out. If not Ryan is, I will. We're both pretty quick at responding. You know, every minute counts, and
You know, I'm a mentally I may not be where I should be, but I can relate. And I am a smart guy. That's one of my problems is I've taken psychology, and whenever I'm speaking with someone at the VA or whatnot, and they because I'm so quick to self-sabotage, I look for any little way that I can throw them off and correct them. And that's I need to stop being so combative. But if there's any of you out there that are the same way, let's talk. Let's try to get a safety plan going. And any any way I can help, 100% sincerely, I'd do anything I could. And by being able to help you, that's helping me. So give me a chance to save a life. You might just be saving mine. So we've went off the rails many a times in this
brought ourselves back.
episode. And I don't think any other episode is going to be any different. It's about everything and nothing all at the same time.
Yep.
So
And
there's so many podcasts out there that sit there and try to stick with what works for them, their forte. Um, a generalized subject instead of bouncing around.
oh, we're going to be bouncing everywhere.
Yeah. And I mean, realistically, I understand how, they do it. They pick one thing alone, like say, for instance, video game YouTubers, streamers, like there's one Tabor Hill. He like I play Fortnite, and the creator code to where like if you buy something it goes to them. He
Mhm.
has a daughter that has health issues, and everything that he gets from that goes to helping her out. So I support him 100%. But like he sticks with doing reviews on different skins, item shops, and everything else. That's what he sticks with, and that has shown that it works. People know what they're getting into to watching. With us, just know that we'll be bouncing off the wall more than one of those little bouncy balls, So we're here, there, and
Each
everywhere.
week, each week will be a new subject, new topic. We'll have special guests, um,
Some
different
not so
areas,
special.
walks of life.
uh, Me, I'm one of those not so special guests. I mean, I'm special, just
You're going to guess you're the host.
yeah. Um,
But I mean, we're going to wrap it up for today. And we will see you all next time. And thanks for coming to the Maddox Minute, even though it's been way over a minute.
I don't even know what time we started. But yeah, if y'all ever need anything, um, we're
Reach
people
out.
we're people just like you.
Yep.
And yeah, even if you just want to say hi, reach out. No matter how big we get, you know, we got to remember where we started. This is that start. So we'll continue to, like Joe Dirt, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.
But until next time, y'all have a great one and wish y'all well.
All right. Bye, everyone.